Welcome back, guys. It is time for our second best of three of the day. And this time around, it's another lower bracket match. And one of these two teams will be going home. It's FaZe taking on the Ninjas in Pajamas. And certainly going to be an epic battle. But I want to touch real quick on that ESEA refrag we just saw. That is certainly very interesting in a way of upping your skill levels across CSGO. And well, Smoothie made some comments about NA not being so good at throwing flash and smoke, stuff like that. So Nadar's certainly going to benefit these guys. And Maniac's looking uncomfortable as I say this. You know, he wants to be Mr. Nice of it all. Pimp's just laughing away as he typically would. So guys, how are we doing? We ready for this one?
We're doing great. It's getting really hot in here because we have a damn of a matchup coming up. NiP versus FaZe. There's a lot of firepower. I'm getting ready. I'm trying to ease myself in the mood, not get too excited at the beginning. Okay. You know, just work your way up because it's going to be a banger of a game, I think.
Oh, it really is. And let's start with FaZe Clan in this one, right? Because we saw them and they did not deliver to the level we expected. And yes, okay, BMAS has come in, a lot is changing around. This is a player that certainly needs to find his comfort at this highest level. But I think what was more important is that the other individuals on the team who shouldn't have that pressure on their shoulders did struggle.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that FaZe Clan had what you call a day off, basically. Yeah. There was nothing working for them. They were not really functioning in any of the aspects of Counter-Strike. The most important thing, of course, as you mentioned here, is that you got to turbo out on the server and you got to be able to kill, you got to be able to win your duels. And if you can't do that, then it doesn't matter if you have a great statistical background. It doesn't matter if you have a good fundamental sort of or good foundation. If you cannot kill the other players on the server, there's nothing you can do. And they just got completely outmatched when it comes to the duels. You say that about FaZe Clan, who have players like, you see it right here, Rain, coldzera, Nico, Brokey, and BMAS, right? Those are very skilled individuals. So I am willing to say that I want to discount that loss. I just want to say it didn't happen. Okay. It was a bad performance. It was a day off. So today we get to see what FaZe are really made of in a playoff against NiP, where they have to win if they want to survive this tournament.
Yeah, and that's the key point, right? They have to do this now. The pressure is certainly on them to make sure they can take another step forward. But when we're looking at this FaZe lineup, we talk about the raw skill and the power they have as a team. How do you go about trying to position BMAS, though, to unleash him? Because Nico keeps saying it, right? He is a great player. He can do all these crazy movements, but he's one of these players right now where he's too scared of making mistakes.
Yeah, I think we can look at the problem from two different directions, right? The first one is what kind of position the team puts him in. And it seems pretty clear to me that they want to make him comfortable. They want to ease him into it, you know, try and let him find his space, find his groove. But the other part of the equation is himself. How does he integrate in the team? How does he feel comfortable about this level of play? And judging by the interviews, it does feel like the pressure gets to him a little bit. He gets nervous, he gets anxious when he misses a kill, when he's not in the right position. I said it, obviously his game versus Big was atrocious, but it's okay. Like, they got destroyed as a squad. His stats were down the drain, but it doesn't matter. It was a team loss. But I think that the first step for BMAS to kind of show us what he can do is to actually be able to perform 100%. I don't think I've seen it quite yet. I know you guys have seen him sometimes perform better. What I have seen from him right now is pretty underwhelming, but I'm willing to give him some time. You know, he's when you think about his first step at the pro level, I mean, he started pretty fast. Like, he went into FaZe Clan. That's a hell of a first step.
That's a jump many players would love to take, but I also want to hear from FaZe, because not only do they touch on the game that they're coming into now against NiP, but they also look back at that devastating game against Big.
We lost a couple of key rounds in the start of Nuke. Kind of got a little bit unlucky, some smoke kills and stuff, but that can go, that can happen. Didn't go our way. Then they had a lot of momentum and broke us money-wise pretty hard as CT, and they just kept rolling over us.
coldzera, he's just sitting on the hut. He keeps back. Rain does go down, but coldzera stands his ground. 8 seconds. He sees him up above. Down he goes.
The same kind of went for Inferno. We didn't manage to get into the game, and they just kind of steamrolled out of it. So yeah, they had a good game. I think they had studied how we played a lot, especially with BMAS. I think Big had a good game plan of how we played, and they had some good counters to some of the stuff we already did with BMAS. I don't think we prepared enough or made enough new stuff for that game, but we'll become better and better as we play. It's still early days with BMAS, so.
NiP at the heels of FaZe Clan. They're already trying to trudge along into the A site. Zantares is gonna body bag a double. Nico, he's in with the deagle.
I think we just have to play our own game versus NiP. We cannot fare anyone. I don't think they have a player like Saibu or Simple or for Nico, for example. I think they have They have good individuals, but I don't think they have that superstar player. So it's just about containing the players that are pretty good. Like Plopsky has been standing out pretty good for them lately. Just gotta make sure we contain the players they have and play around it. We have the youngest kid in that game, I think. So we was just gonna show them who's the best youngster.
Age is nothing but a number, Mr. Rain. But one thing I'm going to touch on there is they had a lot more time, right, in between the games, in between getting towards the playoffs in order to be ready for Big. So I'm not too sold on that, Pim.
No, I'm not too sold when Rain is saying that the Big came in well prepared for FaZe and they basically anti-strutted them, and that was the reason. Sure, that could have been the case, that could have been part of the reason, but coming into the tournament in the group stage with Bimesh, you had 1 or 2 practice days to teach him 5 or 6 maps. That's not enough, right? So you had now a week off to prepare for Big, to prepare for this playoff. That's when you're supposed to lay the fundamentals. So if Big somehow have been like spying on you guys when you've done that preparation, which I hope you've done through that week instead of taking the week off, I don't know, I hope that's the case, then there's no way that Big could come in well prepared against FaZe Clan. So to me, again, it's about the individuals not showing up, and it seems like it's just a standard answer from Rain. I'm not even too sure he knows what went wrong, right? Sometimes you're just not feeling it on the day, and you look silly sometimes.
Well, a team that certainly has been feeling it, though, is our Ninjas. NiP have looked better every single game they have played with Hampus coming in. And we're talking a lot about Hampus coming in as the in-game leader, but also I think the huge benefit for them right now is they're online and they've got Threat, who is a tactical genius, as we know, and he's certainly helping their T-sides in a big way.
Absolutely. Listen, yesterday we had the pleasure of listening to Threat in an interview. Always his answers are so interesting, so insightful as to the process going behind that team. But I also believe that Threat is a very strong role model to have behind you to learn how to become that professional team, that top team. It's not only about just the tactic, which obviously he can bring to the table, and we know he can. I just think he's a nice sort of fatherly figure to have behind, to know how to behave, how to be a professional player, how to be a good teammate, how to be a good IGL, a good captain for Hampus. Obviously, he said he's kind of growing into it right now. He's not feeling the maximum of his power quite yet, and it's understandable. But you have now, and I think it's very interesting, you have an NiP that, like a snake, just shed its old skin. That is it. We don't see the old names anymore. We don't have Forrest, GetRight, Xist, Freiburg, all these names. It's done. It's the new generation. Only Rez, I want to say, maybe Twist a little bit. They are the reminiscent of this period of time, but now it's the signal of this new Swedish scene coming together. And it's quite refreshing, and it's honestly the deadliest NiP lineup we've had in a while.
And when we're looking at this team, right, we talk about Nork. He's supposed to be this star player. Still a bit hit and miss. Rez doesn't find the consistency we need all the time. Plopsky's supposed to be the third one in there. But actually right now, the player I'm loving is Twist. Twist has seemed to have found a new lease of life in these games.
Yeah, he's been playing absolutely stunning. And let's be honest, Twist has for a long, long time been one of the talents out there that we knew he could be potentially, if not the best player in the world, then at least one of the best out there. I think there was a vote in, was it 2018 or 2019, that all the players within FPL voted Twist to be the most skilled or the best player in FPL. So he was definitely shooting them out when it came to the pocky style, when it came to running around and just doing whatever you wanted to, but he couldn't replicate that level on a team environment. So the fact that he now seemingly is starting to perform well under a more or less strict system under Threat and Hampus, to me is a very great sign. If Twist can get enabled and play the same style of Counter-Strike he's doing in FPL, where everyone considers him to be one of the best, then watch out, NiP is going to be a team to be reckoned with.
Well, let's discover where this NiP team is at right where they are going into this game, because it's a big one for them. And if they can seal the deal here, well, it's something's got to stop them, and maybe it won't be FaZe Clan. Let's find out from them.
The game against Vitality, it kind of felt like as usual, very scrappy, rocky. We have been so close so many times, but yeah, this time it felt like good. Except the new game, of course. That felt terrible. On Mirage, Saivo made an incredible ace, like the first round. He absolutely destroyed us.
Hex and ZywOo inside the site to help him out. And ZywOo, here's a nice start to the pit. What? Oh my goodness, he's on for the end.
But then, like the second round, we just win a full eco. I don't know how we won it, I haven't checked it, but we just killed one guy window, and from there we just bashed them kind of.
As the bomb gets planted, but a man down and with a gun given over, there is still a hell of a chance. Kazuta, he hears the Glock triple and he will take him down, but wow, Hampus with 3.
On Inferno it was kinda rocky, but when I clutched that 1 and 2, then I felt like we kinda got some momentum out of it. And when we won every round after that, it just felt like this is our game.
His shot, Rez comes out from confidence, only one, ZywOo making up for his team kill, and it's a double hold on the site as Twist has to find 2 with this orb. Nice shot, ZywOo going back in, and Twist, that's exactly what he wanted. Another engagement, another one-on-one, and Twist will win every single one.
When we go up against FaZe, it's gonna be a bit weird. Been playing Olofmeister for so long in that FaZe lineup, and he's been there forever, it feels like. Bymas is really good as well, a really sick up-and-coming talent, but I know we're so talented individual when our heads are like in the game, like when we are focused. So I just need to take round after round. We have our game plan, we kind of know what we're gonna do against them, and yeah, I think it will be a good game.
Twist there, looking more comfortable, looking more confident. It's actually great to hear from Twist because he's not normally the one we get on the mic with all this. And certainly that game against Vitality was more than impressive. They keep getting over these hurdles. They keep getting confidence boosters in matches. And I think here they're going up against the FaZe, which might actually struggle to match up against them. I see NiP as coming in as the favourites, and I don't think I would have been saying that a few weeks ago.
I would more or less agree. I think NiP has played well throughout this tournament. I think the reason why we can't put FaZe as the favorite is because we don't have a big enough sample size to really determine whether or not FaZe Clan is on their way back with BMS, right? They were looking okay in the group stages. They were maybe a little bit lucky against Spirit. You know, there was this whole situation with Mer crashing out in the Dust 2 game. So we don't really know where FaZe are, and I guess we'll get our questions answered tonight.
Now, the veto here is very interesting to me because it's more about what's comfortable for FaZe here, right? Because how much time and what maps are they comfortable with BMAS fitting in?
I agree with you, and if you're NiP, I think you will be given the opportunity to push them on a tactical map. I think an overpass might be on the cards, a train might be on the cards. Nuke would be a bit more of a comfortable state for FaZe. So in terms of ban, I think Dust 2 and Vertigo should be out of the pool. I'd be surprised to see them. There you have it. You have the train pick coming in. The Mirage pick for FaZe makes sense. Statistically speaking, it's not been a great map for NiP. They've been struggling a little bit, although they did beat Vitality on it, but still. And then Inferno as the third. Okay. Interesting to see NiP actually diverted from Nuke at the end of it. They removed Nuke and let Inferno. I think that FaZe did the best they could out of a complicated situation in that veto.
Yeah, I think NiP, they really avoided Nuke, and that was a good thing. We've seen NiP play Nuke now 2 days in a row, and their CT side is just horrendous. So going up against FaZe Clan, who are performing well on Nuke with BMS, it's a no-brainer. There's no way they're going to play Nuke against them. So I actually think, as Maniac is saying, that NiP right now could be fairly comfortable with the veto process.
Yeah, this isn't bad at all, right? They can be looking at a good situation for this for sure. But before we go to a break, guys, it's time for everyone at home to put their votes in. Now, the last few times you've managed to impress Pimp, but sometimes you send him crazy in which team you want to vote for. Use the hashtag FaZe or NiP with which team you think is going to win. But we're going to kick it to a break. And when we come back, we're going to get into our predictions. We're going to bring in our amazing commentators, and we're going to give you some more fantastic Counter-Strike action here at the DreamHack Masters. We're going to be kicking it off with Train here between NiP and FaZe Clan. But the first thing we need to look at is starting to understand which way this game is going to go. And it is a tough one because we spoke about it already, right? That FaZe are in this weird situation. BMAS trying to find his way in. NiP's on the rise, but I still question that kind of lack of star player in there. But I'm guessing before we get into our predictions, we should probably see what Twitch chat was saying, because Pimp, you love what they love to deliver, right? Okay. Reasonable chat, Twitch chat. You've educated yourself so well. I'm impressed, Pimp.
Nah, James, nah. They lost their mind.
He's not sold on it. He's not sold on it.
They lost their mind again.
Why are you not happy with this, Pimp?
I am happy. I'm always happy when Twitch chat is not going full fanboy on one team and actually evening out a little bit. And I do think that both I, Maniac, and you can agree that this should be a relatively close game. Now, as for the predictions, I have a feeling FaZe Clan is going to win this, and it's hard to justify. I think the main reason for saying that is the fact that I think they're playing well in the group stage. I think BMS got into a good start, and I think if FaZe Clan is ever going to have a honeymoon period, this will be the tournament, because it's only going to get more rough from now on when they try to implement some more, let's say, like tactical depth inside the team as well. And the biggest reason, I guess, for why I'm choosing FaZe Clan as well is that we have an entire Swedish production, and I'm sure they'll be cheering for NiP, and I just don't want to deal with it after the game. So FaZe Clan, they're going to win against NiP.
Sounds reasonable. An argument.
All right, Maniac, where are you going with this? Because, Pimp, he's just descending to madness.
I lost my mind.
Okay, here's my problem. Like, I know that FaZe highs are really high, like incredibly high, so to the point that they could almost beat anyone on a given day if everyone is showing up. I just haven't seen it with enough consistency. Whereas an IP, I feel like they've been slowly but surely on the rise. I will agree that the win versus Astralis was fragile, to say the least, and it could have gone very bad if it weren't for Twister's crazy clutches, I want to say. But I would still favor NiP. I'll go with the Ninjas. I think this is the next step. I think they have a better map pool. I think they have a better system. And unless discarding some kind of Aorix from the likes of Coldzera, from the likes of Nico, which obviously can do it, but NiP will win this, I'd say in 3 maps.
In 3 maps. So I'll split this up a little bit more, right? I was at the beginning of today, I was very much in this FaZe camp. I'm thinking, okay, look, they had a bad game, but we know they can come back. Those individuals can step up. But I'm swinging all the way over to the NiP side because I'm believing from what we've seen on maps, I'm believing that we will get to a 3rd, and that's when they're going to kind of have their hopes, have their way all the way through.
Why am I always standing alone with my predictions?
Maybe Scrawny will join you. He loves you, doesn't he?
It's basically the 2 of you, an entire production, and I'm sure as hell Scrawny will say something different.
It's not a good sign if Scrawny takes your side. It's really not a good sign.
Exactly. So you guys, you're screwed, man. NiP, they're screwed.
I don't think it's gonna happen, boys. I'm all on this side. I'm all down on it. It's only you, Pimp, right? At least Twitch chat agrees with you, though. You love that. That's your
I do love
part.
a bit of Twitch chat, and let's give them some win conditions as well. If NiP is going to win today, I think it's going to be the fundamental. It's going to be the team NiP who's going to step up. Twist was super well playing yesterday. He needs to be well playing again today, but I think that the entirety of NiP is a stronger. They have a stronger foundation right now. They should have a stronger foundation than FaZe Clan had. I know they switched in game leader, and I know that FaZe Clan are still relatively new with BMS, but I think Threat, and the way NiP have been treating this tournament so far as a learning experience, but also as sort of like a practice tournament where they of course still go for the win, but learn from game to game. I think that should be the biggest win condition for NiP. So if they can step it up as a team, sure they can beat FaZe Clan, but I just have this feeling that Coldzera, he's going to say no tonight.
Well, let's see if he does say no. You guys, it's time for you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I'm going to bring our commentators in. We got Scrawny, we got Launders, and Scrawny, you probably just heard it right there. People want to agree with you, mate. Like this you and Pimp banter.
Yeah, I'm going to let him easy today. It's I think today's a very important day. We're going to be very serious. We're going to focus on the games ahead. There are more important clashes coming at you guys with this next matchup than there is between me and Pimp.
Shut up, Scrawny. What do you have to say to Pimp?
Of course, right? No one else can hear that. But we get to hear Pimp in our ears, just trying to meme his way through it. But which way do you guys think this is going to go? Because we're very split on this in terms of how it might actually pan out. You can see the reasoning behind why it might work for NiP, but we know FaZe can just deliver on those monstrous performances.
I hate to be rude to the new kid, but with BMS,
and I think that I don't think anybody said this on air. I'm not sure, but
I can't hear Launders.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Jesus, I was muted. I was muted this stream. Okay, I just want to say I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude to the new kid, but BMS, that first series we saw versus them like a while back, he looked awesome. Like he had those 3K spray down transfers or whatever. But this most recent series, it looks so bad that I have to wonder, is everything okay? Like I'm really wondering, like, is it okay? Because he had like 30 ADR, I think less than 10 kills over 2 maps. It was so bad that I'm sure that's not his real self, but hopefully he's like settled in a bit better now. But I don't know. That makes me question it.
Well, let's see if he has settled in a little bit better. I'm going to let you guys take it away. I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you guys later.
Cheers, James. All right, so now it's just me and you, Mohan, and I'm tempted to talk a little shit about Pimp, but I'm not going to. I'm going to hold that off. I'm going to hold that off for now. Maybe if the first map's boring, we'll get into it in between, but I have a hunch this match is going to be really, really explosive, because I think that while I'm going to say it, I favor NiP. While I favor NiP in this position,
so do I. I think that's fair.
I do think that FaZe are not going to go down without a fight. I mean, the individuals on this team have earned that defense at the very least, I would argue, and we've seen good things from them, right? Like, we know that they are practicing with this time off. Yanko is saying that the team was coming in pretty strong form. It seemed that, but then there was that underperformance from BMAS, and unfortunately, it wasn't just like underwhelming; it was near non-existent, and that's kind of intimidating because we have such a low sample size. Again, the first match looked great, the second match looked awful. That's only a 50% success rate, and maybe today he just walks in, and he has to get through the phase.
Yeah, we don't know.
Taking off the jitters. So hopefully that's today. Hopefully we get that strong BMAS.
Yeah, we don't know which one we'll get. It's up to him basically to show us. But based on what we just saw, it'd be weird to place a bet on a team that you can't really tell what you're going to expect out of them. It's especially since it's not a baseline performance. If there's 30 ADR is beyond a failing grade. 60 ADR, your team could still win. And that is still not a great performance by you. So I'm sure he's not happy about it. I'm sure he'll come back stronger. And I'm sure at a certain point, we'll get to see the real talent from Bimis really shine. We just don't know if that's right now. So a lot will be decided in this matchup. And of course, this is an elimination match. So it's really important for both teams. Pressure will be on. And for NiP, I think they had a pretty good veto. They avoided Nuke. I mean, they lost to Astralis in the quarter 2 of 2020. Who loses to Astralis in quarter 2 of 2020 these days? You know what I mean? They lost to them on Nuke, so they avoided that map. Sorry. Twist had to get 37 kills for them to win in overtime versus Astralis on Nuke. So that was their only win, I think, out of the other times they played it. So a narrow escape on that in the veto, and yeah, it's a pretty good veto otherwise for NiP.
I also just think to myself yesterday, Big looked a cut above FaZe Clan, and that's a little intimidating because I think that Big, we give them a lot of praise for their preparation and the fact that they always come into any matchup with at least one or two tricks up their sleeves, and we definitely saw that across Nuke. So I don't know if FaZe was looking poor on Nuke because of just Big's preparation particularly.
Probably had a lot to do with it, yeah.
Probably, right? And now I'm thinking to myself, like, well, are NiP going to be able to employ that level of preparation as well? And when we start to look at the infrastructure that surrounds this lineup, despite it, being kind of fresh still with Hampus and Threat being very transparent in explaining that Twist was feeling a bit uncomfortable in those first matches under the leadership of Hampus, like, can they have already gelled together now to defeat the likes of the individuals on FaZe? I think so. I really do. It's going to take some sort of big performance, I'd say. Not maybe as big as Twist versus Astralis, but it's going to take somebody to step up here today. And I think that with NiP, the beauty of it is it could be any of these players.
Yeah, I guess FaZe also avoided Nuke. So we avoided a map that would have been messy from both sides. Here we are on to Train. Things should get interesting right out the gate. Map 1 here in lower bracket, round 3, I believe. A loser goes home. I mean, both teams go home. Both teams stay home after this, but the loser is eliminated from DreamHack Masters, which would be a crazy result. I think more than anything, this would be a match that'll be referenced in the future between these two teams. A very important deciding match is to figure out how good their form is.
Well, it's going to start off with the CZ on ramp, and Nock's able to trade that one. So T's get through. Nock, he's going to make the difference so far in this pistol. Bombs planted. And Rain, well, he's going to be on the receiving end of those Glock shots. This is a 3-piece for Nock already. 1 round deep in the very first map. Coldzera, he's going to creep along the oil train, and Twist just takes his head off. So Nico now, he's going to get that long-range engagement, but it doesn't go any better. It's a full house between Nock and Twist.
Yeah, two of the players I wanted to talk about the most. Twist basically is the only reason they're still in this tournament, right? OT to bring it back versus Astralis. He had to clutch, I think, 3 or 4 times in a row. Win 2 1v1s, maybe a 1v2 in there, just to get them back into the game, just so that they could go into overtime. Twist has been a shining light. Is referenced by Threat as the one player who's the most underrated on NiP, who elevates the gameplay of the rest of his teammates. And if that's not high praise, I don't know what it is. And as for Nock, we know how good Nock is. Nock has been fantastic as well.
See if they can continue to keep it up in the games that matter most. Elimination and the long road to the grand finals of DreamHack Masters Spring. It's all ahead of them here. But for the moment, they've just got to get through these Deagles and that single scout on Brokey. Where do we rate Brokey on the scout? We've seen some strong scout. Oh, wait, hold on. He threw it away. Never mind.
He's good. He's a good sniper. So yeah, I don't know. His scout's not like heard around the world like Searson's is. Maybe not as quite as pervasive as. He's not told it in folk legends. It's not talked about in folk legends like Simple's scout. Not even up there with Device, I don't think, but still up there.
I feel like Searson's had me looking at the scout a different way lately. You know, now I'm expecting every opper to be able to do what that man does. He keeps the damage per round real high. We get the jumping SMGs in for the first entries. Twist. Coldzera's just trying to run. He had that scout with such little health. Tried to dip back behind the Z, but it's not meant to be. BMAS, last man standing versus 4. The damage was there, as you can see across the ninjas, but only 1 kill in the end.
After all our years of casting these like tier 2 Swedish teams and seeing some of these players bounce around like Campus and Rez, our first landed. Oh wow, well maybe he's the best scouter on the team. I mean, these 2 shots already show you that he's doing better than he was last series. Just those 2 shots alone, like he's almost at as many kills as he got on one of the maps. So on top of them being nice frags, so we hopefully got a great map here out of Bimus. But it's really cool to see with NiP the transformation of all of these players like finally coming together on the #1 roster in Sweden, like for a time period, of course, and the entire roster being new, but them being taken very seriously as top level competition. Never thought we'd see the day, honestly. It always felt like it would just be NiP +1, a new guy every time, and never actually get that far. But they are actually an entirely new roster that is. They're honestly a gestalt. They're better than the 5 players that you have separated, and yeah, it's amazing to see.
It's a great move for the Swedish scene. You know, I think it does take Dignitas coming in and just kind of soaking up the nostalgia for everybody so that we could still watch Dig play. And that's an exciting story in and of itself, but it's not as competitive as what that tier 2 kind of collection of players has become.
The Epsilons.
Yeah. They've all finally seemed to have figured it out, right? I mean, like, we even saw Humpus run with, like, Red Reserve for quite some time with Relaxa and Freddy Frog, and, like, that's where at least he turned my head. And we saw them, I'm going to say back in, like, 2018. We must have seen them, Red Reserve specifically, at, like, 4 to 5 DreamHack opens. So they were very much floating around that land scene, collecting the experience, but just doing it without the big results. And now, a couple of years later, at least Hampus is here for that lineup specifically. Well,
yeah, I think the very first LAN I ever casted in Europe was in Tour, in DreamHack Tour. And I saw Rez at the after party, and I didn't know who he was because it was like his first LAN or something like that in 2015. And he was like, "Hey, I'm Rez." And I was like, outside the after party, and I was like, "What's my Rez?" And he was like, "No, I'm Rez." And it was like loud. So I was like, "I play on native. What's up, man?" And then he was like, No, I'm Rez." I was like, "Oh, you're Rez." He was actually really good too. And that was like his first LAN ever. But he was like the same kid, like the super nice kid. Just, very humble haircut.
Sure.
Great at fragging, good aim. You know what I mean? That's who he's always been.
The Blopsky of 2015.
Yeah, I thought he was asking me for my Rez.
Well, now we know it's native. That's what we all really signed up for.
Yeah.
We have a gun round ahead of us, okay? We've gotten there. Ninjas in pajamas, they moved past that scout, which was saved a couple of rounds. They've avoided the losses. So let's talk Counter-Strike, because we have FaZe Clan already with some dwindling utility. And whether they know it or not, Hampus got out from T-Con early, and he is just stuck. He is glued to this wall, and he's waiting as his teammates all start to get closer to Ivy, drawing the attention of Nico. You can see him here on Hampus' screen, kind of turning attention, but Nico can react fast enough. However, knocks out of Ivy, and at 7-1 already, he looks to entry on this A site. Plopsky adds one to the kill feed, and while damage is being taken here from Ninjas, they do get it into the 3 versus 3. 50 seconds, and they no longer spot the heads of the defense that are just on the other side of this train.
Man, they were a bit tight on grenades. This is kind of nuts for the CTs. They're actually rotating back to inner. That means NiP have cut noise adequately. The Ivy rotate, however, catches them off guard. It'll bring the CTs back. And yeah, NiP don't have grenades to try to plant, so they'll just have to stick it and cross their toes.
Try to find that proper timing for the plant. Plopsky, he's looking for it, and he's got it. So, retake begins. And we already questioned the utility of FaZe Clan. They've got that double flashbang, single molly. Knock between the trains. Off to a flying start at the moment. Unfortunately for him, his teammate not that most HP. It's Plopsky on 30. Knock, he's going to lose Plopsky. He tries to react to that. BMAS and coldzera coming in from Ivy for the perfect retake. No further losses for FaZe Clan. They get on the board. They save the op. They keep 3 surviving. This is a great little bounce back for the CT straight out the gate.
It's a tough situation for FaZe, or for Ninjas with no utility to work with, kind of low. They couldn't like separate anything. There was no real easy fights to take because the op was still in play for FaZe. And FaZe walking on the retakes pretty much all they needed to do. But I do like NiP going for the Ivy control. I think a little bit of Ivy control can really make you nervous outside. And it's cool to see them using it both on the anti-eco and the rifle round. Oh my freaking God. Another HE grenade dropped in the middle of all of your teammates.
I don't know why it's happening. I don't know why it started happening lately. But, okay.
On a full rifle.
Yeah. Not 10 damage each. Tee-hee, guys. Ha, lol nade. No. You may be screwed because of this. BMAS gonna try to respond there. Brokey, he's gone down, as has the upper box halls. But BMAS shows up, and he's got himself the 2-piece that they absolutely needed. However, Hampus has cut through the deep. How has he, in such a fashion, in back-to-back rounds, gotten out of T-Con, and this time he's not stuck over an Olaf. No, sir. This time, he has come to the back line of the B site, and he definitely hears those footsteps from BMAS. There's no reason for him to believe that Hampus could even be here. So Hampus 100% gets this kill, but the question is, how much more info does he gather before he decides to pull the trigger? Other CTs rotating. Oh. He's already close in Z. If he doesn't check it, coldzera's going to snatch him back, but coldzera drops the shot. However, Knock, he also hasn't come down with bomb. He was a little cautious with the potential of a ladder flank, which is now happening, but coldzera's in a prime position to try and stop this. He's 0 for 2 on op shots this round, so bomb goes down, and we've got the retake yet again. Can Nico's timing from behind help coldzera, as he has already toppled one of the 2? It's Knock, the last man up, once more. And that smoke he's hiding in begins to fade. He's on full display, and yet still the spray connects. Nico next, in with the kill as FaZe Clan take their second.
Knock is furious because obviously Nico just waits so long on the flank that he just clears that in his mind. He moves that out of his brain. He's like, if he's coming now, I'm screwed. I've spent so much of this round holding to see if he would flank, and it never came through. And that's the reason the bomb almost doesn't get planted in the situation after Knock makes a kill like that. Oh my God.
Okay, last time it was just thrown straight up in the sky, and that was Furia who did it. If you guys didn't catch it,
last time it was like an accidental right click, right, or right left click, yeah.
It was just chucked right up there.
Yeah, this is a pinball
this is some
grenade.
Kind of wild rebound. Yeah, that's a little awkward. Plopsky is gonna have to explain that.
It's more than a little awkward. They definitely lost the trade last round because of that damage.
Cut him. No, that's extreme.
Well, yeah, it's a bit extreme, but yeah. Thrown to the wolves.
Well, I think they're all going to be thrown to the wolves here if they hit this B site. Brokey's patiently waiting, and it's an immediate pick versus Plopsky. The rest of the team's going to run down ramp. They have that single AK for Hampus, and he is still up despite Brokey's best efforts. 2 kills from him, and BMAS already on 7. He nearly has as many kills in these first 5 rounds as he did in the entire series versus Big Clan. So, it's a good showing thus far. Nico gonna run up the train lane, Knock last man up yet again, and once more 0 for 3 in those 1BX post plants.
Yeah. You want to count this one? That's a little rude.
Yeah, kind of, right? 4v1.
4v1 on an eco.
Hey, okay, man, that's
I'll pile that stat on. Yeah. Tell whatever story you want, I guess. Well, we got a bomb plant, which is probably really good for NiP. So that nade is an accident, but yeah, made such a big difference on their second rifle round. Like that's the one to make sure they can stay in the game and not have to save. They take 150 damage before the round even starts. They move into this round, they'll have another like good buy. But yeah, it just messes with the whole conditioning plan of the game, you know, for that to happen. Now they go back to similar strats. It was cool to see how far Hampus could get outside, and all the Olaf push is actually no good. NiP quick switching in the air, but then when he lands, just sprays him down, no problem. coldzera up top. Knock is not going to be aware of this, is he? Oh.
Nope. Down he goes.
Ouch.
Meanwhile, Twist, his op has connected. It's Rain removed. Looks like Twist wants to flirt with this. I like the idea. Keep up the op pressure, minimize the movement for the CTs within the train lanes, and maybe you stifle them. But coldzera has decided to push out Ivy, and he's going to flank pretty actively at that. They're trying to burn a man out into the open, but all the while, coldzera has just continued to get closer and closer. And I haven't seen any of these Ts actually turn around and check the possibility for a flank. So there's a world where coldzera comes around this corner and just kills everyone like coldzera does. There's the bomb thrown down into the dirt. He's just going to molly it off at the 30-second mark. He doesn't even need the multi-kill. You know, this is new big brain coldzera. He's not going to run out there for the frags. He secures the round. Or at least that's what it felt like. Twist taking Brokey off of connector leaves NiP a little bit stranded.
Oh, the flash.
And that flashback is meant to push him out of
hit
here.
him.
Twist is giving chase, and it's pretty damn close. But in the end, it's FaZe Clan back in with a fourth.
Oh, the flash is on the mark. See that? Flash is coldzera, or NiP gets that kill while he's technically blind. He's still mostly unblind, but yeah, that was a good way to pinpoint that frag. They almost called that out. It's a good flank by coldzera. Nice Ivy boost. Nice Olaf kill by NiP. A lot of things go well there for FaZe in the default. And it's back to save once again for NiP. It was a strong start. Kind of a couple of mistakes. Unfortunate losses. But generally in the 3v3s and whatever, FaZe still look good. So all merit and power to FaZe. Yeah, and that's coldzera warming up a little bit.
Which is a very scary idea if you are ninjas.
Warm Zera.
Alongside a stellar-looking BMAS. I do not think that this is the FaZe that walked into the big game yesterday. You know, sometimes it takes an unexpected loss to really fire up the machine. We'll see if
that's like some heavy metal Tumblr quote.
Yeah.
Fire up the machine.
It's not a FaZe, Mom. Knock. Knocking on Ivy's door. Rain hits the floor. 3v3 is where we're left. And coldzera, well, he's just going to jump onto the bomb site. He is swinging that op around this morning. And Hampus, well, he's going to come up empty-handed. Can Nox rifle, by the way, 0 and 4, find some sort of a 1vx? No, not again. He is just shut down. BMAS, 10 HP left over, but 10's enough.
Were you counting the clutches again? How dare you?
Yeah, well, you know.
1v4, 5 to 3. Well, they get another buy. So they don't have, do they have the op again? Yeah, they do. Twist, I mean, yeah, Twist is railing too, but FaZe are good on both their ops right now. They're mostly in these defaults, they get 1 or 2 kills, if not 3. Another Ivy push here. I like this because, you know, a little bit of NiP earlier was, oh, Rez. Well, he tries to wait on that too. That play that Rain makes almost calls it out. Big kill to drop. Rez has been up and down in that match versus, I think in the match versus Astralis, there's one match where he had like a superstar performance. But yeah, I can't remember what it was, but he's definitely been hot and cold. Oh, Rain gets away with 3 HP. 3 HP off that drop. It made sense. And the Ivy push. So here's the thing. NiP, their best moment so far this half on the anti-eco and the rifle round where they tried to take over Ivy control. That made FaZe uncomfortable. FaZe immediately have responded with Ivy control for themselves. And these last couple rounds, they've gotten the op kills. coldzera on both of them, actually.
Frag could be decent. Yeah, there goes half of Hampus' health. Nice nade, NiP. Found that superb timing. Rain, meanwhile, just going to chill out in the offices. He decides to duel versus Twist. And that goes his way. He is still alive somehow.
He's still
and
alive,
they are protecting him. Plopsky, all he wants is that kill versus Rain.
Some revenge.
30 seconds left over. Doesn't even have the bomb. Doesn't want to die after time, so he's looking for the duels, and BMAS is going to give him one. The new kid on the block, 11 and 4. Officially more frags than he had versus Big in that series.
2 more frags than he had versus Big in the entire series. So yeah, that we don't even have to talk about that anymore.
Nope,
he's
that's out
back.
of the window.
He's back. It's great.
Yep.
Like this is. Yeah.
Sorry, if I may, I just say, like, I think this is just the proof that it was a one-off. Like, okay, maybe he's not going to, you know, he's performing well again today, and maybe this isn't going to happen every day, but we've seen what the low looks like. It's nice to know there are more highs than low for the moment.
Definitely. No, that clearly looked like an anomaly. It was just so stark compared to his other games. I was like, what? So yeah, this is cool. All right. FaZe potentially full strength. Come back stronger. Bimus up to bat again. On the lower ramp. Plopsky, first victim.
Or first victor.
Has a flash. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah. He's pressured him. He's pressured him. Done a great job of actually causing a distraction there. You saw the offset crosshair. Definitely not help BMAS out. Brokey. Looking to land these op shots, but he too starts to get a little pressured. Rez can't do much about it. Nico's going to creep in with one of the 2 snipers in this retake attempt, and he actually gets caught by Knock. Flashbang goes deep. CT goes high. All the while, one's in Z. Plopsky shut down by Cold. That's a crucial kill, or else Z would have been compromised. Brokey with the op on the retake. I mean, there's still a chance where they don't even go for this because they're losing players before they can even move forward, but looks like FaZe are going to try it. They are climbing the blue train, and Nox defending it with his life, but Brokey on the top side of it tries to fall back now. He knows this round is gone. There's no way he wins it, but can he even escape? No, sir. Hoppus shuts it down. That's a huge 4K for Knock, somebody who we've seen in post-plant positions quite often.
And it's an eco. Even though they lost all 5 players, they wouldn't have been able to buy if they had done this on a rifle after this many losses. But since they did it on eco, they saved enough money to get the full buy off again. So, well, they'll go up against full strength FaZe one more time, but friendly shrapnel. NiP have only done 19 utility damage to FaZe players, to be clear, which is funny because Plopsky in that one nade did almost 150 damage to his own teammates. Start turning that turning that energy on your opponents. It's a lot harder to get the grenades off on the T side, of course, but you know, one well-placed grenade this round would have done more damage than you've done combined as a team so far on the T side.
Let's keep an eye on that one. Keep a finger on the pulse, Elliot. Looks like a fast one. Molotov's already being thrown out here. Nico, he's playing behind the train, and he's good for some cover, but it's the ops. Both Cold Zera and Brokey connecting crucial shots. Rain moves forward, goes down. Hoppus now trying to find the multi-kill, but BMAS, not just for holding the B bomb site, he's got flanks on him too. He takes Hoppus down to 7 HP. And it's now Hoppus versus both of the oppers. He has the bomb, and he's just going to dip out to the B bomb site. This could be perfect.
Yeah, this guy definitely reads books. He's smart enough to not to win this round. Oh, boy. He absolutely had to fight that, unfortunately. He couldn't fall down, make noise. He couldn't move from there without staying in view. He had to go for that spray. That was a very awkward angle, though. I mean, who knows? Maybe it still matters. There's an op here that could miss. Never mind.
Nope.
Brokey, he don't miss.
Brokey swings in and takes it. So I will say, however, Hoppus another round where, you know, they knew where he was once he pulls off the first kill, but he's been doing a very good job of creating space from T-Con, whether that's pushing Olaf and holding, whether that's getting onto the bomb site unnoticed, whether that's splitting over to the B site. I mean, how often do you get to B for free twice in 12 rounds?
Sorry, what was that? How often do you get to B for free?
There, yeah, he slipped through Z twice.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah, so one of their strats, they do the B, like the full-on B, and then he's just meant to literally walk through the site. He's not necessarily meant to flank Z, but just to try to get a kill outside as well. Oh, wow. Another, man, they're just throwing the fast rush outside. They have kind of the same guns. It feels like they're a bit fed up, but who knows? It might actually work.
So far, so good. They've got that 3v3. They catch the Opper trying to fall back, but here comes BMAS again. Last time he was crucial, and this time, yet again. He's dropped it to the 1 versus 1. It's Rez v coldzera. Cold all the way back in spawn, but the bomb belongs to Rez for the moment. He has no utility and only the Galil. Look how scared he is. There is nothing near him except for corpses, and he doesn't want to become one.
I think, dude, I mean, first of all, BMS flanking like that, I think they didn't anticipate it, but at the same time, he literally killed them in the exact same way the last round versus the exact same execute. They should have been watching ladder with somebody, especially after having the man advantage. They just tossed that away, and here's the scope. The sound heard right before his death. coldzera playing in between sites, hoping for some kind of lurk play like that. Rez falls right into his trap.
Sure. What's wild about it as well is, you want to paint that picture about BMAS doing this twice. Well, we just saw Rez, clearly influenced by Hampus, decides to go out Z to B, and he's not quiet about it. Remember, coldzera was nearly caught the round previously because he was jumping through CT spawn into Hampus. This time, that trap gets turned upside down. The hunter becomes the hunted.
Oh, you really sounded like the war owl there. That was really weird.
And I still don't have a closer.
All right. Well, yeah, that was, it's been a nice flank. I mean, it does take balls for BMS to go and flank ladder the way he did. Oh my God. I don't know if he's scared or happy that he saw that. They're setting up for grenades, so that's a good bit of information. Can call for his friends to come over and try to help him. I don't even think they realized that he spotted them, actually. They're only now starting to go over to clear out upper. But on this low buy, they don't have really many options to go back and like take ladder room control, fake outside. They're down to 3 flashbangs.
Ooh, he sees him. Roki.
Wow.
Flicks over to the headshot. BMAS, his 15th frag on the board. Traded by Rez. Looks like they're trying to use that ladder movement to get over the cross, but now they're just stuck in no man's land. Brokey, he's still scoped forward. He's trying to flick onto them, but they do manage to cross. And coldzera is going to give cover to the op as Rez gets close. We saw him pinned behind E-Box last round. And this time, he is stuck behind the oil tankard. Oh, the feet. Brokey checks out the size 12s, decides to take him for himself, and the one connects. Nicely done there by Brokey. 3-piece on the round, and coldzera comes in for that final swoop.
In terms of the opping, man, Brokey, he's really like, he's definitely had the fastest rise to world class. I mean, I can't believe how well he keeps up at this level with the op. As a player, I think signed on not even to be the opper specifically, right? Like just picked it up somewhere in that 10-year period. And yeah, looking super sick. 14-6. And NiP, they give it their best shot. They're really not high chances of winning that round without getting more control on B because they were low on grenades and guns. But if they were a little bit luckier, of course they could have got that extra kill. That's an insane shot from Twist. He had to, if he looked up, he would have been looking at the light. He literally had to flick and hit the shot blind.
Oh, now he's blind. Yet again. Nox sits outside the Ivy smoke. He's got a teammate here, so strong crossfire if coldzera decides to push. And other than the kids, coldzera, he is next on the scoreboard for FaZe Clan. Wild spray from Nock draws Polopsky into the gunfight, and it all works out. But now Brokey, well, he's met by a smoke, and he still has the responsibility of keeping T-Con in check. Looks like Rain will take that from him, alleviate a bit of the pressure. It allows Brokey to play on the bomb site instead, but now he's susceptible to the pop dog hit. So it's difficult to hold off on A with only 2 CTs. The closer BMAS gets to the top of ladder, the more Brokey can turn his attention back to Ivy. Rain, in the meantime, he's decided to shut down T-Con in its entirety. 2 frags for Rain, man advantage stripped away from NiP, and Polopsky has to walk forward because it's not just the man advantage, but it's the bomb. And with 30 seconds left, Rain's gonna just pummel through the smoke, knock last man up yet again. This time he does cut down Brokey, but will he expect BMAS? Seems not. That's a tense one for FaZe Clan, a CT side that has not stopped giving.
Oh man, I don't know how that looked to you, but that was a pretty rough miss from Twists. He's sitting there. I think he's specifically holding this side of the flank from that side of T-Con and hoping Rain pushes up. then Rain ends up getting both kills there. It's another mid-round situation gone sour. When we get to that level, that 3v3 mark, you get the CTs coming into the T's camp. It's the T's who are supposed to get the kill. So it was like +1 to the T's on the information, but -1 on another missed shot.
5 of their 10 rounds won by way of defuse. So we do have FaZe Clan getting on the, Ninjas getting on the bomb site more often than not. It's been a decent T side, but 5 rounds, best case scenario to close this. Final attempt, gonna be the straight up B hit. Sure, they have one player lingering over on Ivy, but everybody else has to find footwork on B. And it all boils down to dealing with the Opper first. Brokey, he's gonna get pushed back through oil cold. Well, he's rotated in, but lost half of his health already. Hoppus could very well just spam through smoke, but he holds off for the moment. They predict the walk down from Rain. Nicely done from Hoppus here. He's trying to find that second head, and he will right through smoke. Nico, 1 versus 4 to the top side of the box halls, but this looks like NiP have done it. A 5th round on their T side will definitely help as they swap over to the defense. There's a lot of pressure on this second pistol, so don't miss it. We'll be back after the break. Brokey looks good, BMAS looks good, Coldzera looks good, and that is a 3-course meal. 3-course meal.
You
Absolutely love to see. Unless you're NiP, in which case it's a hell of a tough start because while Nock is 16-12, tying BMAS for the most amount of kills, well, there's nobody else on his team who's really stepping up to that level. Let's see if the CT side does them any favors. Don't forget that this is the map pick of the Ninjas in Pyjamas, and for that reason, we expect big things from them. So awesome to see a 5 versus 3 here in the second pistol. It gives us hope for what could be an awesome little comeback.
Yeah, I like the idea behind taking them to train. I don't think it was a bad choice. It's just that FaZe looks so much better today than they did earlier this week. So Yeah, I mean, the CT side, it could be a whole new story. Their T side was very simple. I mean, but that was such a Swedish, like it was such an NiP T side, very, very simple executes. And I'm not mad at it. You know, they were kind of ramming their head into a wall with like their fast outsides. But if that's their comfort zone, then they should stick to it. They shouldn't try to play a style they're not comfortable with. That's fine. There's still some stuff they could retool. It actually made me feel like they should try to be more a little bit like Fnatic and use more of those individuals, heighten that even more, try to perform more lurks, because it feels like that is a very prevalent style for that kind of CT side, or that kind of T side, excuse me. So FaZe will take the remaining 3 into lower, miss a Molotov that will be inconsequential, but still 5 up for NiP anyways.
Yeah, just shooting him in the back, letting them know what's coming. That actually did take Nico down to 1 HP. So let's see if he can make anything happen, because all the while, we've got coldzera connecting a couple headshots. Sure, he sits on only 22 HP with 3 CTs to go, but that one looked doable for just a moment. Twist, he's going to find himself a 3-piece here in the pistol, so he is adding up those frags, trying to catch up to Knock.
Winning the pistol is one thing. Denying the plant is also a pretty huge boon to the CT side. Yeah, it affects the CT buy here. They can buy up more SMGs if they like to more comfortably, as I'm sure they'll think that FaZe will attempt to get a plant before they buy. Yeah, and obviously the plants on train come a lot easier than most other maps,
especially with that short distance between ramp and the B site, but even with it being in close proximity, doesn't matter. There's guns. Posted up and knocking them down. 19 frags for Knock. Easy anti-eco. And we've got FaZe Clan coming in with the buy. No op out of the gate, but plenty of AKs, plenty of grenades, and plenty of helmets too.
Yeah, it's just as you say. You know, sometimes people eco to outside A, but the plan is way easier on B. It's the same deal as like Mirage Palace to the A site, just proximity from the choke point to the bomb plant zone. It's pretty much as simple as it gets. But yeah, we're already into a rifle up. And I like NiP trying to go for some map control here, putting their guns in closer positions while also, getting early information. You know, Plopsky really doesn't have to fall out of here. His teammates are too inner. They've got ladder room control. They're in pretty good spots.
And FaZe Clan all the while, they're all in one spot. I mean, very shoulder to shoulder here in the upper box halls. That grenade could have been worse. Could have been worse. Also could have been way better. Here's the hit, though. We've got 2 Ts coming off of the top rope, just looking to close this distance, looking to skewer Hompus against the wall. A second from Rain. If he starts to come alive, then we're going to have all of FaZe Clan basically hitting shots, and that is a beast to try and hold back. So, yeah, very straightforward. You see Rain just come out of upper with his back as close to the wall as possible so that nobody can directly beneath him shoot up, and he closes that distance, compromises, all of the sideline, and very easily cuts through the B bomb site. He's even going to rack up a 3rd frag versus Plopsky, so if Rez can survive with an M4, that's something. But otherwise, it's just FaZe Clan through and through.
Yeah, and I guess, because there's no op here, it really amplifies the power of Rain coming out of upper. Not worrying about Z, knowing there's no upgrades on that last round. So, yeah, and we didn't see entries like that from NiP in the first half. That was pretty beastly by Rain. And 11-7, FaZe in a pretty good spot already. The buy is actually not amazing for NiP. Somehow, I don't know if they upgraded, but they didn't lose any players last round. They just don't have much money left, somehow. Wow, they actually have to save. Even after the full Glock round, and they had 2 SMGs. That's interesting. And sad.
Yeah. Sad for NiP. Great for FaZe. FaZe up. And maybe FaZe back down. If the ninjas can pull off some wild antics. Don't forget, they have that M4. They've got a couple of Zeus's. Although Hompus is alone here in the box halls. Knock on the ladder. Oh, you know what? I've got to respect the hustle. Halfway up the ladder with his Zeus. Anybody sticks their little eyes down there, they're gonna have tasers in their eyes. You imagine that? Tasers in your eyes.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. There it is. You come to fight me in my angle, okay? You come to my house. That was them stacking up, holding for the right side, Ivy peak. Another clean one for FaZe.
Yeah, assuming this is going to go well, right, for the rest of the round, I want to ask, because I have a belief that one of the best things for BMAS in this roster is the fact that he is coming in as an incredibly young, inexperienced player into an organization that has already signed what are legendary players in Nico, coldzera, and Rain. If you were BMAS and Brokey and you both got signed at the same time, wouldn't it be a little bit more intimidating? Whereas for BMAS, he's coming into a roster where Brokey has already proven to be a success story as this young, inexperienced player being thrown into a system with players of a whole different caliber and it working so well. I mean, Brokey was one of the hottest players at the start of 2020, and he still is an incredible prospect, but now he's got BMAS who looks kind of at him as guidance. And I think that's the question.
Well, what is the question? Is it more pressure or less? Is that what you're saying?
Less. Like, I think yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I got lost in my train of thought there. But I guess the question at the end of the day is, like, doesn't this make it easier for BMAS if he just looks to his left and already has Brokey doing what he's trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on your mindset. You know, like you could see that as like you're competing against Brokey, because I'm sure there's a part of him. You know, you want every player on this team is a lion. They want to be the best. As much as their team, you know, working together in terms of personal performance, I'm sure they all push each other. Sorry, I just had a beer back. 1 sec. Do you mind taking this?
I got it. Go. Family misfortunes. Nico is the only player at DreamHack Masters to be the second highest rated player in his family. Damn. I'm still waiting for more like Counter-Strike families to develop. You know, doesn't Scream have a younger brother out there somewhere? Tell me, is there a second Rops? What about Relaxa and Freddy Frog? They're twins, right? That's what we need. That's what Counter-Strike needs, a set of super twins. Ogre 1 and Ogre 2 type stuff for all my Halo fans. I'm gonna bring you back into the gun round though, because look, this one's fast. Nico, he has already passed the Molotov. Rez was fully blind that entire time, and Plopsky nearly dies. He will to the spam through the smoke by Brokey. Brokey, you're about a month late, bud. I don't know what that Krieg is doing in the field. I don't know who told you you could buy that, but he has already swapped it over for the M4. So we are back into the realm of reality. Hampus, he is on the bomb site. coldzera, tucked back by Olaf, tries to move forward to catch him, but he is just moments late. And Hampus, well, his position's going to be known as coldzera's trying to find a way to cut down this 3 versus 3 to the man advantage. He'll take it. Tries to snap back for the second headshot, but Twist bests him. And the spray, Twist, he may not realize he killed the player in the background. Brokey still inside the smoke, and that bomb's too far gone. Everybody's gonna die. It's a 12th round for FaZe.
Well, you see, Connor, the reason they win that one is because they walked out onto the A site really quickly. And, yeah, my name's Launders.
Brotherly love. Stown used to play with his brother, Dragonfly. That's very true, back on the Fragsters. Team that did very well at, I believe, Betsnet once upon a time. From there, who knows what happened to Dragonfly. Gets a little lonely without Launders, I'm not gonna lie, guys. But I guess this is a chance for me and all of you to nurture our friendship. I don't really know what to ask you guys, so I guess we can just talk Counter-Strike. How about that? We'll keep it rolling, as we do have ninjas in a bit of a pickle. Plopsky, well, he's got that off. MP9 for Twist. Not much more for the rest of the CTs, and already 2 players down. That one absolutely has to sting. A deep grenade versus Rain is something to play off of, but all it's going to do is make Rez's job a little easier, maybe. He still has to hit the shot, and it seems like he's going to miss the 2, so he's lost the element of surprise, as well as the double man disadvantage. Everything's going well for FaZe. They've got 2 players encroaching on Ivy, but by cutting off the pop dog, well, we now have Rez trying to turn attention towards T-Con. Meanwhile, Knock, he will get pummeled just through the side of that smoke. It was looking really good for NiP for just a moment. Imagine a world where Knock wins that second fight. They've got the 2 versus 2. We would see Rez do this, get his hands on the gun, but BMAS wastes no time. He goes all the way to Old Bomb, executes the final frag, and we've got FaZe Clan leading by 5. Nothing other than a P250 picked up by Knock. $300 is all that they spend in this one. Hey, man.
Do we have another clean rifle round for FaZe?
Yep. And you're back just in time to watch the sheep be led to slaughter.
Wow.
It is easy for FaZe Clan.
Was it? It's basically another default. NiP couldn't keep up on all of their entries.
Yeah. They kind of had this awkward round where Plopsky has an op, Twist the MP9. They've just been bottoming out the economy, trying to turn this back upside down, but it's not working. Maybe this gun round will make a difference.
Yeah, but yeah, the numbers astronomical for the youngsters. Really, really good to see. Initial first layer execute outside, bait out some grenades, pull the CTs forward. Plopsky goes to get some information. Rain spots him. Isn't happy to take the fight just yet. And I think Ivy is always what scares most teams. You do love to see it. Twist looks like he's in a good position to be flashed into Ivy if they want to try to get a kill. Interesting, they're actually picking up both sides. This means there's no close B rotator, so no Z player. So really, really hoping for outside.
This is like the slowest round we've actually seen out of FaZe for quite some time.
Appreciate a good tempo change. Look how much utility it's already drawn out. And NiP down to 2 smokes, 3 flashes.
Less than ideal. We get that simultaneous utility on both ladder and the Ivy. Knock. Gonna get dealt with swiftly. Hoppus pushed up on the ramp, gets the second. Nicely done. He's got the bomb at his feet, but he goes back for the AK, and that's absolutely gonna cost him. Coldzera comes in with the double, and Twist, he is surrounded on all fronts, but these 3 Ts are already low. 10 seconds to go. Nico gives cover. Nico saves the day.
Oh man, I thought Twist was gonna make play of the day, holding on, waiting for that bomb plant to go down just until there was enough time. Nico catches him in the back. Wow, okay. And yeah, FaZe, man, they score another one. That was actually a great push by Hampus, and he came back because Rez was on that flank, but a couple of failed frags from 2 NiP players means they just can't keep up.
Well, we've seen them do less with more. Let's find out if ninjas can use this whatever this is by to keep the game rolling. If not, we've got FaZe Clan doubling up the round count and looking to rob away the map choice of the ninjas. After Train, we're going to be moving on to Mirage. No matter who wins, no matter whether this draws to OT, it's Mirage up next. And it could be sooner than later. Knock, he's going to drop the Deeg shot. 4 versus 3. There is the AK up on Plopsky, and Rez's Deagle good for the headshot. So we've got a little life here in NiP. We've got a man advantage for NiP. And yet Coldzera still slips past. They're not able to keep him back. He's going to walk right into their back line. Deals with Rez. There's the headshot back from Plopsky. Can Nico do this 1v2? Plopsky's already sitting on the 3-piece. Oh, even though he's blind, Nico's still able to deliver another headshot, or at release the frag. And Nico, well, he's going to move forward, not waiting for Plopsky. He tries to flick, and Plopsky's going to keep this game going. A 4K for Plopsky is what Ninjas needed.
Man, Ninjas, they have the talent. We can see it. I mean, Plopsky there with the 4 kills. The entries are in, and whoa, this actually comes down to the wire. Nico had delayed a little bit longer. No, but yeah, NiP, I mean, it feels like stylistically they're playing such a similar game to FaZe, but they're just not as good on the talent front. But I don't believe that that's true. I think Well, okay, you can't argue that NiP have more talent than FaZe. I don't think that's a fair argument, but I think they have enough for sure to combine with the way that they can win some rounds. It's just, I think the style, it's just too similar to what FaZe are trying to pull off for them to separate themselves from what FaZe can bring and what FaZe can offer in terms of their talent and experience. And Twist, he's now taking Ivy into his own hands, which is great. And the flash, actually from a passive position, but it still opens up, Bimis to come through for the peak. Twist was just chilling, not even waiting for a counter flash from his teammates, and all of his friends are dying around him.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling, I don't imagine. We'll see if they can come over from the B bomb site and plug these holes, whether FaZe decides to just execute to the outer yard, if they want to follow through with this trident of an assault. They've got players in every position, and already that two-man advantage. Now, what really scares me is we've had individual prowess from Knock. He's got the op, and he is very much back in the depths of A. But yeah, look at this. The scouting report starts to get faxed over to coldzera. He is telling his team that B is the place to be. And they're going to start sprinting over. Froki, Molotov at the feet of Rez. He could have gone up or out, and he decides the latter. Now it's coldzera. He's going to be trying to keep them inside of Z. Sprays for the first one. There's knock off. There's the potential solution, but Nico, he's going to bully him on the outer side of Z. This one is finished. FaZe, 16 rounds here on Train, and they steal NiP's map pick.
Man, yeah, and again, it's just stylistically, it seems like they match up so well to NiP and what they have to bring, and just look a cut above on Train. And we didn't see outstanding performances from like Rez. You know, Plopsky had a good round in there, but there needed to be more pieces coming into play, and there are way more pieces coming into play for FaZe Clan. Really nice comeback from Bimis on that map.
Stellar stuff. Good to see that the pieces are connecting for FaZe, but of course we've got Mirage up next, and that means this could be a 2-0. Join us after the break with the analysts to see what they have to think.